All right, guys, here is another little project for QCS. I get a lot of questions about how does QCS strip paint. Now, under this painted piece is a Drexel solid walnut chair. And someone decided that walnut was not pretty enough, and they painted it white. And they didn't do a very good job. They brushed it on, so brush strokes and all of that. Not great. Also, the brass caps down here. Let's paint over those as well. Let's pretty much take away all the personality of this chair. So mistakes happen. We all make them. Someone made this one, and there's a set of 4 of these. But I'm going to try to show you on this one with QCS just how it strips painted pieces. So when you're in the thrift stores or the tag sales or wherever, yard sales, wherever you are, when you see a piece like this, you could say, yep, that can be saved. So to get started, you're just going to take your QCS bottle here, QCS, boom, and you're going to just mist the surface. And oh, the tip is got to get loosened up a little bit. One sec. And you're just going to mist all of the surface. I'm going to do this off camera, but I'm just misting it all with the QCS. Looks like water. And what that's going to do is it's going to start to dig in, bite in, and slowly soften and dissolve this finish. And we're going to see how it comes off. Now, depending on how it was prepared, this could be a real easy strip. It might come right off, or it could be if they sanded areas or stripped anything. It doesn't look like that to me, but if they did, then it might be in the grain and the wood, which makes it more tricky. It's not our fault, the QCS or anything like that. It's really that once you get to raw wood and then paint it, it becomes a nightmare pretty much for any product you would use, but still doable. So we'll see what we come up with. All right, so I just wanted to show you, it's been less than 15 minutes, but I wanted just to come in and just kind of point out some things. So when you start to see this crackling here, I'm going to come in. That's a good sign with paint. Paint tends to need a little more time, and this was the thinner areas where they didn't put as much on. Obviously on the big flat areas, whoever painted it probably laid it on quite a bit heavier. You could see back here on this leg, it's starting to crackle, and that's a good sign that it's functioning and it's working. And then obviously if you come in here where it's starting to crackle a little bit, it's going to start to come right off. See that? So it's actually coming off pretty well. So it's been less than 15 minutes. I'm gonna just keep it wet. That's really the key, is keep it wet and be patient. You don't want to try to rush, especially with paint. You don't want to try to force it off. Just keep wetting it. Use the product. Don't use your labor, and let it just get under it, and then it'll be a nice easy cleanup. All right, guys, here is the chair. Check it out, huh? Love it. When you strip something painted and it starts to do that, isn't that sweet? I just love that. That is just so rewarding. So I'm going to bring you all in on the first scrape to see how QCS is doing. Let me get my little scraper here, and let's check it out. Let's go right in here and do a scrape. Let's see what it does. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Down to the bare wood. Beautiful. Let me just come up here. Look at that. It's walnut. I believe it's walnut. Check it out. All out of the grain. That's awesome. There's still the original factory finish under there. That's definitely soft as well, but it may need to get recoated now that the paint's coming off. So the time-wise, soaking may take a while, but what's really cool, so just so you know, and I'm trying to be as honest as I can be and transparent. So today I've just been soaking this periodically. It takes about, I don't know, 30 seconds to recoat the chair, maybe not even. Just misting it now and then. So it's been soaking since 11:30 this morning, and it is about 2 o'clock right now. So it's just been sitting here. I've done nothing to it other than what you just saw. That's the first labor I've put in, other than just pulling the spray trigger a few times. So there's been no labor. I've been working on other things. I was on a phone call that was important, a bunch of other things. I'm just letting it work. So it's not taking any labor time. It's just sitting and working, which is fine if you're okay with being patient, just letting it work, letting it do its thing. And now it's going to start to fall off beautifully. And that's what you want. Now it won't be a struggle. It'll be easy just to get the paint off and then move on to the next steps. So people ask me, does it take paint off? It varies. Some paints it struggles with. There's all different kinds of paint. It's kind of a hard question to answer because there's all different kind of makeups of paints, sort of like glues and other things. So sometimes it might struggle a little bit. But as you can see here, it definitely takes off your sort of basic paint. So this is falling off beautifully, and it's coming out pretty clean. So. That was a horn, like of a plow truck, if you didn't understand. That was supposed to be funny. Alright guys, just want to show you just putting the labor now into this. You could tell where it's still sort of bonded a little bit here on these areas. We can see where it's bubbling up. The paint comes off. What's really cool is as far as like your waste goes, because QCS is biodegradable and sort of kind of just melts into the finish, it kind of comes off in like, I mean, not all finishes would act this way, but with the paint it almost comes off in this sort of rubbery, you know, it's just the paint. So this is easy to just get rid of. QCS is not adding any hazards to it, so you could just let it dry out and throw it away in the trash. But anyway, with this, one thing is that if you ever use another stripper and you let it sit like this, like I could walk away overnight and come back and this would not create any negative problems. If you used another stripper and left it sitting like this, you would take this off and see all sorts of stains because of the way that the moisture and the chemical in the product works. So you want to be aware of that. So if you were to use another product and not get this off, you would end up look how nice that comes off though. It's just and it's down to the bare wood. There's still the finish, the original finish. You can see when I scrape it, that's the bare wood, that's the finish. So what it did was it got between the paint and the finish, but the finish is actually very soft. So what's great is that once the paint comes off, I can do a dip scrub of the finish and it'll come right off. It wants to come off right now. It's soft and ready. So but anyway, there's another big plus about QCS is you could pre-treat this chair, go home for the night, come back the next day, let it have crackled all up, and then begin instead of you know, waiting. There's just, it's a longer wet time, but your labor time, if you allow it to do its thing, you know, won't be that long. All right, guys. So I'm just showing you here. This is how you do the final scrub. Obviously, there's still some more paint on there. I'm going to address, but you'll see the raw wood and then the finish. But the finish just comes right off. So it's really, really nice. The QCS kind of got between the paint and into the finish underneath. So now that actually acted, some of you when you strip, you use saran wrap. In a way, the paint acted as saran wrap. It kind of sealed the QCS in and made it so that it kind of just kept working and stayed wet. So I'm just going to go around and get the majority off, get it to like 90-95% clean, and then just sort of mist trouble spots and go from there. Alright guys, just want to show you a final video here. This is obviously not finished. We're going to finish it off camera. I'm not going to keep shooting video of it. But you can see here in the mahogany, this is just speckles that need to get scrubbed off. But came out of the grain beautifully. What's nice is this had a factory finish on it. And that made the paint not be able to get into the grain, which is really helpful when you're stripping a painted piece. So, and also QCS sort of got in behind it and pulled the paint off, which is helpful instead of it sort of dissolving it in a way to kind of make it go into the grain. But either way, it did come clean. You can see here is an example of how the whole chair will come out. And really it's a way to save you know, a piece that you find that you might think is not savable. So you know, that's QCS on a painted chair. Hopefully you found this informative. Be sure to follow us here on YouTube and on Instagram. We are at Stripwell on Instagram. And if you need QCS, go ahead on our website, www.stripwell.com, and you can pick what you need. You can either get a single bottle or 2 bottles, 3 bottles. We have a special deal for 4 packs of our quart bottle, which is this. And that is just our regular price, but we include shipping for free. So normally you would have to pay for shipping, but if you buy a 4-pack, shipping is covered by us. So check it out. If you have any questions, contact us. We love answering questions, and there are no dumb questions, so feel free to ask anything that you need to ask, and we will try to answer them as best we can. Thanks so much. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.